Shiliola Adesuri Ajayi, and today we are looking at the development of Nigeria's real estate and housing sector. And, of course, we're going to talk about the challenges and some other things, population growth and some other things, opportunities, as well as the way out of those challenges in the sector. All right, with the rapid urbanization, population growth, and economic shift in Nigeria, real estate is becoming a crucial pillar of our economy. We'll be exploring the challenges, opportunities, and the way forward for this vital industry on today's edition of Business Today. I have in the studio with me a real estate expert and the president, Real Estate Managers Association of Ondo State, Otumba Charles ALABI. You're welcome on the show.
Thank you, Marita.
Thank you very much. And let's begin by giving an overview of the current state of Nigeria's real estate and housing sector. Can you share with us some insights into how this sector has evolved in recent years?
Well, the real estate sector in Nigeria has evolved, but it is private sector driven at the moment. Governments are trying, but they are not doing enough. Because as at 2021, the statistic from World Bank says that we have 15.56 housing deficit. And as at 2023, Nigerian government put our housing deficit at 28 million units. So definitely, what are the factors that surround this? We need government to just continue to build infrastructure. Because most times, all these problems are passed and built into the housing cost, which makes it very, very, very much unaffordable. So at the moment, I think the involvement of housing, real estate in Nigeria is private driven. Because whatever is private driven is definitely has to do with profit. And if it has to do with profit, definitely, it is a problem for every buyer. In those days, you will know that definitely that there is something called Jakande Estate in Lagos. There is Shagari Village here in Akure and all across the nation. But today, who is looking towards that direction? Then, houses are very, very affordable. Civil servant can afford it. Even the downtrodden society can afford it. But today, when you talk about real estate and housing, buying houses in any developed area, definitely be talking millions of naira, which does not have any relation with the present salary rate and what Nigeria represents at the moment.
Okay, based on what you said now, Nigeria is still faced with substantial housing deficit.
Definitely.
Okay, can you elaborate more on the key factors contributing to this shortage?
Yeah, like I said, poor infrastructure is really contributing into it. In those days, like I said, look at Shagari Village, for example. There's a very good road network, even if it's not that perfect. But today, any private developer coming in will build, and definitely there will be no road infrastructure. I have an estate in Akure, for example, where I can cite as an example, for example. Now, that estate has been on for the past 10 years now, and there's no single road in the estate. And people have bought, it is sold out. The one is coming up directly opposite SIB. Yeah, the man is trying, but whenever a developer builds and is talking about infrastructure, definitely it will be built into the cost of the houses built. So poor infrastructure is the major reason, because when you travel abroad, there are places that have not been developed, but government presences are always there. Like electricity supply, they would have done their due diligence on bringing electricity supply to that environment. Talk about road network, they will do the roads. I was in Switzerland some months back. They took me to somewhere they call their farm. I was so moved that, do you call this place a farm? It's one of our best estates in Nigeria, which is tagged a farm. And the road network is fantastic. But here, we have in the state capital, Akure for example, there are estates that are developed that don't have any single road network. Go to the back of SIB, for example, the place is well developed, but there's no single road network. So whatever, that is the major reason poor infrastructural development impedes the growth of real estate in Nigeria.
What about maintenance culture?
When you talk about maintenance culture, as soon as you sell a property out, you mean on infrastructure on the
housing?
Yeah, as soon as a property is sold out, it is the onus lies on the person that buys to maintain. But the only thing I think is expedient of government and the developer is infrastructure. And when this is captured, definitely there will be more people coming in to say, well, I want to come and develop. But when you go to Nduru now, you see there are estates coming up, right, left. When you go past prison, you see estates coming up. Look at that distance. Whereas we have property, we have land still vacant around Ibato or Imafo, but the road is not too good. But people are rushing into the road because one, there's a single lane that will link their estate, and whatever they are rushing to buy must face the main road. If there are road development, definitely you know that people will want to come and buy at affordable rate, because when you're looking for accessibility, definitely the price of the land you want to buy will shoot up. So that affects the price. And look at material price now. You see definitely these are the problems we are facing. Like I started a project some months, about 2 years now. When you go to Signature, there's a shopping mall adjacent. If not for God that one has surpassed a certain level, the increase in prices today would have impeded that.
Okay, in all of this, what role is government playing in addressing these issues? And second leg of that question is that how is the private sector now contributing to the development of housing sector?
Yeah, I think if I must be sincere, the present administration are looking towards that direction, and as we speak, I think the person that is in charge of urban development, that is Ojo, who is the president's in-law, I think is the one that is assigned to take up that task, and is doing well, because already they started coming to each state to start identifying. And I think what state government need to do to really help the private sector is to improve on infrastructural development. Lights to where Under state government is trying. For example, look at about 3 days ago or 4 days ago, the government launched mass metering.
Yeah.
That is another way of saying, well, let's put a stop to changing people. So that is a very vital one. And what I need government to just do is to improve on their infrastructural development so that will assist developers, and it will even improve on how people, influx of investors into those states, into real estate. For example, if somebody wants to buy now and the place being marketed to the person does not have a motorable road, definitely becomes a problem. So on the private sector, they are coming into business to do business and make profits. So there's no way until government do their part. That is when the prices of houses will be forced down. Because if there are roads and this is done by government, definitely private investors will come in, key into that, and do something affordable. Because without roads, there's not business building. Because one, it will not sell.
Okay, let's now look at it from the private sector's perspective. What are some innovations, the private or trends the private sector are bringing into housing sector that could help alleviate some of these problems facing in this sector?
Yeah, they are really trying to bring in a lot of innovations, but the problem still is the prices of building materials. What do we do to that? Because if you want to even do precast has to do with cement. It has to do with a lot of things, and all these things are important. Even the one produced here are on the high side. So the developers are coming in to say, well, let's do what is affordable. Some years back, Lagos government looked into this low-cost housing thing, but they can't continue. It's not sustainable because definitely you can't say you want to sell a two-bedroom for 5 million, for 10 million, for example, which can be affordable to the civil servant and to the average person in the society. But today, let me not deceive you, a two-bedroom, a standard two-bedroom built to taste will cost between 50 and 80 million naira. So the cost of materials is really impeding and will not, they have a lot of things, they have a lot of ideas. The one coming up, the one I mentioned at the front of SIB, you can see it is done at the carcass level. You'll be the one to finish. Even Afro stuff, same thing. So, but there are some that have been finished, but they are not affordable. And it's not the fault of the developer. So they have a lot of things to bring on board, but the problem is building material costs. It's always a problem because until government looks into it, if we have alternative to cement today, definitely houses will definitely crash. For example, some months back, there's this innovation from the Western world where they will bring in a built house that you can move from one place to the other. Within seconds, they can assemble it. But is it affordable? Can you and I afford it? That is the question. So these are things we can fabricate locally. But even if we fabricate locally, it will not still be affordable because the cost of fabrication too will impede the pricing crashing.
Okay, you've mentioned so many opportunities and of course some challenges as well. So what is the way out of all of this now? Because it seems, what do you want the government, what do you think the government can do to actually help? Fine, you've mentioned some provision of infrastructure and some other things. Oh, in what way do you think there should be a policy that could really help this sector?
I don't think there's any policy at the moment, but I think if the economy of the country is stable, definitely price of building materials will be stable. For example, somebody that started a project that has a BOQ drawn, and that BOQ is stating that what you've used to finish this particular project is so wide amount of money. If that is estimated to about 10-15 million naira, and because of the instability now, it's shot up to probably 25-30 million naira. How do you explain that to the person you've marketed that, look, we'll be having this two-bedroom to sell to you at 15 million naira, and it's shot up to between 25 and 30, so it becomes a problem. So government really needs to look into the issue of building materials, because Ajaokuta Steel, federal government need to look seriously into it. If they look seriously into Ajaokuta Steel, definitely there are houses that we can build with steel. So if the cost of steel comes down, because if you want to do decking now, you know what it's going to cost. So if the price of steel comes down, definitely it will force a lot of things. At least that is one part. For example, the cost of cement from 1,000 something to 2,000 to 3,000. Now at the point, I bought for 10,000 plus. So now it is ranging between 7,500 and 8,000 naira, depending on the area at which you're buying from. So government really need to look into this. All these sectors are private sector driven. Dangote is in charge of cementing the whole nation. BUA is coming on board. We know how the politics they've played around it, but we are just appealing to government. The only way out of it is when there's government involvement. Definitely it will bring down and force down, because there's no competition. They are just being frenzy in whatever they do. So if government look into it and they are involved directly, definitely this will take care of the fears and it will crash the prices of commodities.
Okay, you are the president of Real Estate Managers Association in Ondo State. Yes. What are you doing to really help the people of Ondo State?
At the moment, at least I came on board since 2017, and I've been playing my whole role to make sure that at least we have a sane society when it comes to real estate practice in Ondo State. Anybody that knows me would have listened to me over time and over that I come on here to tell us the policy we have. If you are a real estate practitioner now, we expect you to at least be registered. Because everybody practices real estate in Nigeria because there's regulation. But we are trying to say, already we've partnered with Ministry of Commerce and Industry, who issues us operating license. Already we have a codified identification card, which will afford you to say, well, if this person dupes you, that ID card is enough for us to fish the person out, except if it's not registered. So for the past 6 years now, last 2 weeks, but last week, we were at the House of Assembly to support land grabbers bill. This thing does not come easy. We've been battling. When you're trying to change the narrative of the normal practice of Nigeria, it becomes a problem. Even for members.
Because I wanted to ask, what are you doing to all this monile of a thing?
Yeah, that is what the land grabbers bill will take care of. And as well, for members, because there are issues. When you get to police station today, when you look at their board, issue of somebody that has swindled somebody in the course of practicing will be on the board. There's no station you get to now that you not find land matter, or somebody swindling somebody, or somebody come to say, well, I have sold this land. So for me, I'm so focused that my own mark I want to leave by making sure that we have a sane society. Because when you go abroad, if you are not a real estate practitioner, you can't practice if you're not properly registered. But because everybody does whatever they like in Nigeria, but at least we thank God that government is looking towards that direction now.
Okay, before I let go of you finally on this program, looking ahead, what is your outlook for the future of real estate and housing sector in Nigeria?
Well, in Nigeria,
what trend should we be looking out for? Should we be expecting from real estate managers? Yeah,
I think within the few years to come, I can assure you that we'll have a better practice, and Nigerians will enjoy the service of realtors. Because if you don't have a registered person, it won't give you anything close to a perfect service. But if the person is well trained, because the two ways you can go to practice is either you study in school or you join by association. And by association too, we give a lot of trainings. So definitely real estate business and real estate sector in Nigeria and real estate practice is coming up. And I know what I read from the Minister of Housing yesterday, I knew definitely they are looking towards that direction. On taxes and what have you, definitely if it is well captured and they do it very well, the real estate practice in Nigeria will help those that are coming from abroad to invest. Because most people are fall victim and that ruin their lives. So because of this, that is why we're looking towards that direction. So Nigerians should be rest assured that better days ahead and better practice.
Thank you very much, Otunba Charles ALABI, for your valuable insights. The real estate sector holds a lot of promise, and we look forward to seeing